Welcome to the next installment of a weekly segment where we dive into one of Elder Scrolls Online's many sets and explore what sort of builds you can make. Not only will we show you how to get the most from these sets, but we'll explain where to get them, what requirements there are to obtain them, if any, and everything else you could possibly want to know about them. This week's set is the medium armor set that was added with the recent Clockwork City expansion this past month, Unfathomable Darkness. Unfathomable Darkness was introduced with the addition of the Clockwork City DLC, Update 16, in October and November of this year. This set can currently be acquired by defeating world and delve bosses, looting treasure chests, and completing quests in the Clockwork City region. This zone requires the purchase of the DLC or an SO Plus membership. This set is bind on equip, so it is also possible to purchase it from guild vendors or trade with other players who have pieces. The style of Unfathomable Darkness is also newly added with a DLC called Apostle Style, and you can acquire motifs of that by doing daily quests in the region. Since this is an overland set, you can get weapons, shields, armor, and jewelry. The traits on this armor are random, so you may have to farm in order to get the ones you need. The jewelry comes in robust, making this set ideal for stamina builds. There are a few unique pieces out there as well that you can get from quests, but they aren't any better or worse than those that drop overland. This set does 4,000 physical damage at legendary quality. If you add 100 points into Mighty and 100 points into Master at Arms, then Unfathomable Darkness will hit for 5,600 damage per crow at legendary quality. You get 4 crows, so that's a total of 22,400 damage possible over 12 seconds if you are 100% optimized, or 1,867 damage per second. Let's take a look at how you can use this set to get best results. Proc sets, or sets that have a chance to apply some effect called procking, are becoming more popular in SO and seemingly added every major update. Proc is short for Programmed Random Occurrence. When the conditions of the proc set are met, the effect will trigger. However, not all proc sets work the same way, and some apply buffs that remain on you whether you continue to wear the set or not. Learning how to use proc sets effectively is extremely important for min-maxing, especially in PvP. An important thing to note is that proc sets can no longer critically strike or critically heal as of Update 13, Homestead, so as to reduce their effectiveness in Cyrodiil. In addition, many proc sets have cooldowns to keep them from being abused. When choosing a proc set to use, if you're so inclined, you want to not only look at the effect, but how often you can apply it. Finding sets with little or no cooldown is ideal because it allows you to trigger them frequently. Unfathomable Darkness has a 15-second cooldown, however it lasts 12 seconds. This means you have roughly a 3 or 4 second cooldown after it expires, which isn't bad. How this set works is that when you deal damage, you have a 10% chance to summon a murder of crows, 4, that circle overhead and strike out one at a time to the closest target within 12 meters. It doesn't matter if it's direct damage, damage over time, an AoE, or a light or heavy attack, or even proc set. Just any sort of damage and it will proc. If there are no targets within range, the crows will attack nothing every 3 seconds until they are gone, so be sure to stay close to your opponent or enemy. In terms of effectiveness, Unfathomable Darkness is much more effective than Mad Tinkerer because it doesn't seem to miss its target. However, it does have a downside, which is that if you get knocked back and are out of range when the next crow is supposed to strike, it will not hit anything. The good news though is that as soon as you are back in range, the next crow will. This makes this set much less risky, as even if one crow misses, you can still connect with up to 3 more. One of the other things to note is that the crows from this set can be dodged if timed properly. It is rather easy to dodge actually because a single crow strikes every 3 seconds, which gives you plenty of time to prepare. I'm not sure how many people would waste the stamina to dodge this attack 4 times in 12 seconds, and it doesn't seem to hit overly hard against players, about 2,000 against light armor. However, it is relevant information, so I've added it here. This set probably isn't the best for a PvE player because the proc only damages a single target as opposed to an AoE. However, that being said, you can still use this in PvE. Since it's a proc set that procs off of damage, ideally you'd have several AoEs that you can keep on your targets and lots of dots if it's a single target, like a boss you are fighting. Caltrops and Whirlwind are both good choices, as well as Bombard as long as you are close. This set lacks stamina, so be sure to pair it with a set that has at least one bonus of max stamina, or your pool will be lower than you'd probably like. There are quite a few sets that have 2 max stamina bonuses as well. Some good choices include Bone Pirate's Tatters, Draugr Hulk, and Quick Serpent. Unfathomable Darkness works much better in a PvP scenario where hitting your target is more difficult and you can pick to fight in smaller scenarios against 1 or 2 players. Since the set has a 12 meter range, you will need to be a melee build in order to get best use of this set. Be sure to have a gap closer so you can stay up on your target so as to not waste any crows by being too far away. Make sure you have several dots or a poison you can apply to your target to keep this set proccing often. Skills that strike the target repeatedly are also good, flurry, biting jabs, etc. Because this set alone cannot kill anyone, you might be best served by pairing this proc set with another one to help burst your opponent down quickly. Some such sets include Morkolden, Damahos, or Veladreth. Because this set has physical penetration on it, which is rare for most medium armor sets, you may not need as many points into the piercing champion star if you're doing trials or dungeons. Be sure to find out how your group is set up and what skills they are using to best determine the right amount of physical penetration you need. Don't waste DPS by having too much when you could be putting those points elsewhere. Another thing you could do with this set is backbar it with something like a sword and board and proc it and then swap while in PvP. This not only would allow you to control just when it goes off, but might also put some pressure on your opponent while you're playing defensively, allowing you to take the offensive. If you backbar this, be sure to use something like Agility, Shackle Breaker, or Night Silence on your front bar to get the most when you're attacking. Consider using this set as a werewolf or with a pack of werewolves who all have it. You can roleplay a druid from Diablo 2 and have quite a bit of fun. Can you imagine a bunch of werewolves running around all with a murder of crows flying above their heads? Would be pretty epic, right? And since the crows seek out their targets, you'd be hitting people all over the place. Stay tuned for more build guides coming every week, and be sure to check out our other SO guides.